Wow, Donald Trump just delivered what may have been the worst speech of his life, and that's saying something. Certainly the worst speech ever given at any presidential convention. Donald Trump started talking about his late great friend, the fictional cannibal Hannibal Lecter. Let's watch this.
They're coming from prisons. They're coming from jails. They're coming from mental institutions and insane asylums. The press is always on me because I say this. Has anyone seen Silence of the Lambs? The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He'd love to have you for dinner.
Then Donald Trump talked about his relationship with the authoritarian leader of Hungary, Viktor Orban. Play the clip.
And you saw this. Hungary, strong country, run by a very powerful, tough leader. He's a tough guy. Press doesn't like him because he's tough. And he came out recently. They were asking him at an interview, the whole world is exploding. What's happening? What's going on? Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, very tough man. He said, I don't want people coming into my country and blowing up our shopping centers and killing.
Next, Donald Trump talked about his endorsement from Kim Jong-un and that the dictator of North Korea misses him. Play the clip.
I got along very well. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, I got along very well with him. The press hated when I said that. How could you get along with him? Well, it's nice to get along with somebody who has a lot of nuclear weapons or otherwise, isn't it? See, in the old days, they'd say, that's a wonderful thing. Now they say, how could you possibly do that? But no, I got along with them, and we stopped the missile launches from North Korea. Now North Korea's acting up again, but when we get back, I get along with them. He'd like to see me back, too. I think he misses me, if you want to know the truth.
Donald Trump then went on to say that the next Republican National Convention should be held in Venezuela. Play the clip.
Really a dangerous place, but not anymore. Because in Venezuela, crime is down 72%. In fact, if they would ever win this election, I hate to even say that, we will have our next Republican convention in Venezuela because it will be safe. Our cities will be so unsafe, we will not be able to have it there. In El Salvador, murders are down by 70%. Why are they down?
Donald Trump then proceeded to talk about the China virus. Play the clip.
But I don't even talk about it because of COVID. I don't even mention it, frankly, because of what happened with the China virus.
Donald Trump then said he was buying voters in Wisconsin, and that's what he was there to do at the convention in Milwaukee, to buy their vote. Play the clip.
By the way, Wisconsin, we are spending over $250 million here creating jobs and other economic development all over the place. So I hope you will remember this in November and give us your vote. I am trying to buy your vote. I'll be honest about that. And I promise we will make Wisconsin great again. We're going to make it. Thank you, Mr. Governor. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Donald Trump then referred to Nancy Pelosi as crazy Nancy Pelosi. Play the clip.
He was so great, and he's such a good young man. He went through a lot of trouble, and Don last night was incredible. They went through so much trouble. They got subpoenaed more than any people probably in the history of the United States. Every week they get another subpoena from the Democrats, crazy Nancy Pelosi, the whole thing, just boom, boom, boom. They've got to stop that because they're destroying our country. We have to work on making America great again, not on beating people. And we won. We beat them and all. We beat them on the impeachments. We beat them on indictments. We beat them. But the time that you have to spend, if they would devote that genius to helping our country, we'd have a much stronger and better country.
Donald Trump then continued to spread lies about the 2020 election. Play the clip.
And we don't have fierce people. We have people that are a lot less than fierce, except when it comes to cheating on elections and a couple of other things. Then they're fierce. Then they're fierce.
Donald Trump then praised Judge Eileen Cannon, the corrupt judge who he appointed, and then said that all of the cases against him should be thrown out. Play the clip.
And very big news, as you probably just read, on Monday a major ruling was handed down from a highly respected federal judge in Florida, Eileen Cannon, finding that the prosecutor and the fake documents case against me were totally unconstitutional, and the entire case was thrown out of court. With all of that publicity, thrown out of court. If Democrats want to unify our country, they should drop these partisan witch hunts, which I have been going through for approximately 8 years. And they should do that without delay and allow an election to proceed that is worthy of our people. We're going to win it anyway, but worthy of our people. On this journey, I am deeply honored to be joined by my amazing wife, Melania.
So if you're just, again, as you're watching this, this is like the stump speech that we've been covering now for years of Donald Trump, that we've been saying that the corporate media needs to cover. I know they've been saying, oh, there's going to be a tone change. Just keep watching the types of things he's saying, and he's just saying it in a different kind of tone, which almost makes it worse. Here, Donald Trump praises his selection of the person who introduced him, Dana White. Play the clip.
And my people called, and he said, yeah, I won't be able to do it. This is many, many years. I promised my wife I can't do it. And they came in, they said, Dana won't be able to do it because he was my first, second, and third choice.
Donald Trump then talked about the types of crowd sizes that Kid Rock gets. Play the clip.
I didn't even know how big he was. You know, he has rallies, 35, 40,000 people he gets every time he goes out. I think he's making so much money, he doesn't know what the hell to do with it. You want to know?
Then in this moment, Donald Trump kind of walks over where they set up an actual prop of Corey Compertori, who was killed during the shooting that took place in Butler, Pennsylvania, and just kind of watch as he kind of uses as a prop. It's very strange. Play this clip. So this speech was supposed to last about 40 minutes. Donald Trump just continued to ramble past an hour into hour two, as Tim Alberta, who's there, saying, I'm standing 10 feet from the stage in a sea of diehards. Some are getting restless, checking their phones, stealing glances at the teleprompter, whispering about when this will be over. And you know, from our coverage of these speeches, the people who would attend these Trump rallies would hate it. He would ramble on and on and on and not stop. You know, one of the things that we saw happening, I'll show you this angle, was that sometimes the teleprompter would just stop and then Trump would ramble for like 10, 15 minutes off script. Here, watch this.
10 worst presidents in the history of the United States. Think of it, the 10 worst, added them up, they will not have done the damage that Biden has done. Only going to use the term once.
Donald Trump then made up that he says illegal aliens are taking 107% of jobs. Play the clip.
By the way, you know who's taking the jobs that are created? 107% of those jobs are taken by illegal aliens. And you know who's being hurt the most by millions of people pouring into our country? The black population and the Hispanic population, because they're taking the jobs from our black population, our Hispanic population.
Donald Trump then says migrants are taking the jobs from black people. Play the clip.
And you know who's being hurt the most by millions of people pouring into our country? the black population and the Hispanic population, because they're taking the jobs from our black population, our Hispanic population, and they're also taking them from unions. The unions are suffering because of it. Thank you. Thank you. I like you too. Thank you very much.
Donald Trump then attacks the United Auto Workers Union and their leadership. Play the clip.
And right now, as we speak, large factories just started, are being built across the border in Mexico. So with all the other things happening on our border, and they're being built by China to make cars and to sell them into our country. No tax, no anything. The United Auto Workers ought to be ashamed for allowing this to happen. And the leader of the United Auto Workers should be fired immediately. And every single auto worker, union and non-union, should be voting for Donald Trump, because we're going to bring back car manufacturing and we're going to bring it back fast.
To which the UAW responded, "At real Donald Trump is a scab and a billionaire, and that's who he represents. We know which side we are on, not his." Donald Trump then talked about how the Taliban referred to him as Your Excellency, and that they did not refer to President Biden as Your Excellency. And he was very proud that the Taliban liked him. Play the clip.
And he said, "I understand, Your Excellency." He called me Your Excellency. I wonder if he calls the other guy Your Excellency. I doubt it. The other guy gave him everything. I mean, what kind of a deal was that? He walked out, gave him everything.
Donald Trump then said he would take over the auto industry. Play the clip.
And Congress has to go along with us, and they will. This very simple formula will create massive numbers of jobs. We will take over the auto industry again, and many, many hundreds of thousands of jobs. We lost so many jobs over the years. If you go back 20, 25 years, they've stolen, going to China and Mexico, about 68% of our auto industry manufacturing jobs. We're going to get them all back. We're going to get them all back, every one of them.
And then finally, Donald Trump points at Scott Walker, calls him the governor, and tells him he's doing a very nice job as the governor of Wisconsin. But here's the thing. Scott Walker has not been the governor of Wisconsin since 2019. The current governor is a Democrat, Tony Evers, who isn't in the building. Play the clip.
USA. And Wisconsin, just like I gave you that massive ship contract, and you're doing a very nice job, Governor, right? Thank you, Governor. And they're doing a great job. In fact, I had a little design change, and we gave them a tremendous for essentially what we used to call destroyers. These are now the most beautiful. They look like yachts. I said, we have to take the bow and we have to make it a little nicer and a little point at the top instead of a flat nose. And the people at the shipyard said, this guy sort of knows what he's doing. We have the most beautiful ships, right, Governor? And everybody's sitting over there. And it was a big contract that everybody wanted. I gave it to Wisconsin, but we're going to have a lot of that built right here in the state of Wisconsin and all other states.
As George Conway then said, "Come on, Donald, tell us more about Hannibal Lecter. The world wants to know. At least let's make it interesting," is what he said. Here, Brian Metzger says, "Trump's acceptance speech, which remains ongoing, appears to be the longest nomination speech in history ever recorded. He's broken his own record of 1 hour, 14 minutes. He spoke for 1 hour and 10 minutes in 2020. And as we wrote on the MeidasTouch network here, everyone in the corporate media who has been pushing the new tone BS about Trump these past few days should be absolutely ashamed." We'll be bringing you more breaking news here, but hit subscribe. Look, we told you what was going to happen here. Hit subscribe. The corporate media has lost all of our trust. I mean, they've been totally exposed here. Let's get to 3 million right now. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.